All right, well,
Hello, everybody. It has been a long time. We haven't been on live since we were cycling across the country, and I think we made the halfway mark or
1,000 kilometer mark.
1,000 kilometer mark. That's when we last had a live stream. So we're super excited to be back. And I didn't actually think that we'd be hitting. I mean, I don't know. I guess 100K has been around the corner for a while, but things have been speeding up and slowing
That
down. But
and yeah, so we thought we are doing a 100K live stream,
yes, that's what we
and
did.
this time because we've learned from our past ones, we thought we'd do
A
a sort of
structure.
a structure and a bit of a summary so that you guys know what to expect in this live stream.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with a little introduction into our journey, how we started, for those of you who might be wondering, and then where we're at today, how far we've come. So very interesting. Then we'll be going on to the future of our channel,
Yes.
what we hope to do,
Yeah.
how we are hoping to change our model up a bit, change in the business of the channel,
Yep.
and then on to our honest thoughts about the current situation in Sri Lanka, because we know a lot of you are interested in that and have been asking us about that, both from living here to a point of like tourism.
Yes.
And
Last.
and then last and most importantly is the amazing giveaway for the 100K
But you're
celebrations.
gonna have to wait until the end
You're
to
going to have
find
to
out.
wait until
And
the end.
trust me, you want to stay until
Definitely
the
want to
end.
stay.
But in the meantime, if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in on the chat. I'm going to be looking here once in a while and going to be picking out a few questions as they come along. So yes, unfortunately, Shan, I just realized something.
Hmm.
You didn't put the camera on like a colored profile.
No, it is.
Is it?
Yeah,
On that, it looks pretty great.
it's fine.
Okay, cool. Great, so let's start.
Yeah. All right. So an intro into our journey.
Intro into our journey.
How we got started, why we got started.
So the reason we got started is because Shehan and I, in short, because I've been advised by Shehan that I take way too long to tell this story, so I'm gonna make it short. We realized that we both have a deep love for travel, a deep curiosity, and I think that's one of the things that really, we're very different people, Shehan and I. So we have a few things that we value. I guess our principles and morals that are similar, and I guess that's why we work so well together.
Yeah.
And one of those is the fact that we really love to travel and explore and learn from other cultures, apply that back to our own country, and just it's been a wonderful experience for both of us. So we realized this on our first backpacking trip to Thailand, as I've said before, and it also was really important and pivotal point in our time when we did this trip because we were just kids kind of getting started out going into corporate, and I had started a small business on the side, kind of almost out of college, and we were set to go down a very tried and tested path. But this trip just completely threw us off because even though we hadn't planned, we just wanted to get away for 30 days and really experience a country properly. And that's why we chose to backpack on such a tight budget. But the most important thing that happened was that we were exposed to so much at a very young age. We saw lots of people doing things that allowed them to travel continuously. We also felt like we could tell better stories about our country than what was being put out there just because we're locals and we
And
have a little more
yeah,
context as
and
well.
also I think as we start looking at it as a way of, we really loved traveling and we
Yeah.
wanted to find the best way to do that, because
Yeah.
obviously it was going to be very hard for us to earn enough money to travel all around the
But
world.
see, that thought wouldn't have even occurred to us
Yeah.
if we hadn't traveled and seen people doing this. Is everything okay?
Yeah, no, I'm just checking.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess that's definitely one of the main reasons that we were triggered to we came back from our trip and we just went back into our normal lives, but there was something at the back of our mind saying, what if? Could we do this? And I think the bottom line is that we were crazy enough to think that we could. Um, Shehan needed a little bit of convincing, but we kind of assessed the situation and decided what is the best skill that we can acquire to make this a reality for us. And I think we also were able to identify this gap in the market of where our stories of Sri Lanka weren't being translated to the English speaking audience correctly enough. It was happening, but we felt like there was more that we could share. There was deeper stories and things about our culture and our tradition that we could share. And I think we decided that this is something that we could enjoy, telling these stories, and filming just turned out to be something that we both loved. So it was a bunch of different things that worked out, but it all started with a seed that was
Yeah,
planted by our first international travel alone together.
and I love for travel.
And our love for travel, yes.
Yeah. So I think there's like a slight delay, probably about 5 to 10 second delay that we're seeing. So I think what we'll do is just send in your questions. Chanel will check them in, but just realize that there is a slight delay. So I think we'll take it to the next one.
Yes.
Cool. So
You go, you take it up. I'm just going to quickly.
all right. So in terms of the future of the channel, or rather where we are at today. So when we started, we never really thought that we'd be in this position in terms of influence or in terms of like opinion leaders here in Sri Lanka.
That's because when we also started, our main goal was to be international travel content creators. We were aiming to be creators that were traveling and telling stories. Like Sri Lanka wasn't the only place we wanted to see.
Yeah, I mean, we still want to travel internationally.
We do, yes.
But what happened was, with all the crises that we had, we obviously at each of those like instances we understood
we had a responsibility.
We had a responsibility, and we actually tried. We realized we could try to do something during that time to help out.
And I think what to highlight, we were very small. I think even when we did our This is Sri Lanka trip, we had almost less than 1,000 subscribers, and you could easily feel at that point like, what's the point of putting this out? Nobody is going to travel to Sri Lanka. I mean, at a time where everyone is like, so upset and hurt and, in so much anguish, why would we post something like traveling Sri Lanka? Like you could think of so many things, but we thought, what, let's put something positive out there. Maybe nobody will watch it, and our editing and we were so like new to it, and we didn't think much of our work really, but we thought, what, let us put this out there with this good intention. And what happened just completely, it blew our minds.
And it also kind of changed our trajectory, because as much as we wanted to go international and do stuff internationally, we started realizing that we were able to do a lot more impactful work out of here from Sri Lanka. And so we've sort of, in the last year especially, we've sort of understood this and focused more towards putting more effort to creating more impactful work here. And for those of you who've been seeing like the recent things that have been happening, it's phenomenal. We've been getting like amazing recognitions, amazing features,
and it's crazy to think,
a world of opportunities that have come our way.
Yeah, and we are really like humbled and grateful for it, because I think we always think back to who we were when we started out, in 2019.
I mean, you could go back down the channel and see how we started. Right?
And even if you watch it, you'll see like us being really positive and happy, like as you would when you put anything of yourself on social media. But behind the cameras, we were really stressed. We didn't have jobs, and we just spent the last bit of our money to plan this like trip around the country. We emptied our savings to buy a camera, like rent a car, and this all just it was so crazy, but it was like a all or nothing. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we have skills, we can go back to work.
But I think it's still something like that. Like
but I mean, we'd never
think we'd be here.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew we'd come to 100K, but I think more than the 100K, the kind of work we're able to do and the kind of impact we're able to create is really mind-blowing.
And at this point, it's really not about the subscriber count anymore. I mean, we love the the support and the backing that you guys make us feel. Like, I think that really fuels our work for sure. But it's not about the count anymore. The count just happens in the background. It's about how impactful is the work that we can create, the opportunities we get to showcase really amazing things that really amazing Sri Lankans are doing in all parts of the country, and kind of, get like connecting. Like, I feel like I'm thinking of Manjula's story. The soap maker who she was in Manna, right? She's in Manna. So the just the possibility that we could make a small video about her, and we recently heard back from her saying that her business has tripled and she's getting orders from abroad, and that's amazing for us. The fact that we can bring those two together, the viewer and these people who are like doing really amazing things, I think that's the most satisfactory thing about what we're doing.
Definitely. So I think before we move on to the next one, we'll take a few questions. Shall I off the fan?
Sure. Should we off these lights as well? Just guys, let's test something out. What do you think?
I don't know. We can't see. It will take some time.
Okay, so there's a few questions here. I'm going to go into number one. Someone has asked, first of all, if we are living in Sri Lanka. Yes, we do live in Sri Lanka. Occasionally, we go abroad for like a month or so. Someone has asked, how's the climate in Jaffna? We haven't been to Jaffna recently, but I know it's raining there right now. Rainy season means Jaffna is lush, green, and beautiful.
Someone has said they've been watching from 1,000.
Yes, someone has said, I remember watching you guys on YouTube.
Pushpawali Bhaskaran.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You had 1,000 followers and now 100,000. Wishing you all the best and success and 1 million followers. Crazy, no? Crazy that could even be an option. I feel like we were just so happy to reach 10,000 subscribers at that point. I like your bike tour. Also, I have set up a poll on the live chat. I've given a few options of destinations which you would like to see us exploring aside from Sri Lanka, and I'm getting a few answers here as well. So definitely hit that up. For what in your life do you feel most grateful? This is by Shanaka Subhasingha. Shreyan?
I think that's a lovely question. I was thinking about this recently, and as much as everyone has their struggles and all of that, and I think our struggles are also just as real, like trying to run this sort of crazy unconventional business that many people don't really get, and there's all this stuff. But one thing we are so grateful for is the fact that we get to do something that we actually love, and if we don't like it, we can just change to doing something else that we also love, and that is really amazing. And that's obviously thanks to the viewership and the following that we've built on all these platforms, thanks to you guys.
It is the strength that you guys provide us, like even when we have like a bad month where and that's the unglamorous side of this. It looks great on YouTube, like we travel a lot, but there are months like when it's tough for us because things haven't worked out, because the country situation is not good.
Or we can't edit and put up as videos as fast as we want to, and that affects the entire
our revenue will dip. But all of it is it's so worthwhile when we put up something and you guys communicate to us how much it impacts you, how it makes you feel.
Plus on a personal level also, like recently we were saying, like it's amazing that work for us is we have to drive to Trinco and then dive. Or we can
that's why we never we always there have maybe been once or twice where we have almost complained about how tired we are, but we always catch ourselves and say, but no, because there is nothing else that we would be doing, and we're so grateful.
It's awesome. We're really grateful for that fact, is the fact that we get to travel, we get to experience so much, and that's really what we wanted. And if not for if forgetting whether we make money on it or not, and how we sustain it as a business and whatnot, just in this moment appreciating the fact that we get to do this for a living is
amazing.
It's amazing. And I think that
super
was
grateful for
that was a very good question. Thank you.
Ashanaka has also asked another question, another great question. Who has influenced you the most in your life? And I'm going to take this question first.
Yeah.
Because off the
Sit
top,
closer.
I need to be, I can't see. Off the top of my head, there's one person that I think of when I read that question, and she has influenced me so much. She's not with us anymore, and that is my grandmother, my Archer. She moved to Canada with my mom's other siblings a very long time ago. So she used to come to Sri Lanka for 6 months during the winter time. And I used to hate it when she comes because she was so strict, and she would, like put all these rules, and like suddenly, like I was being raised like a wild child, and months of the year, and the other 6 months I was being more heavily monitored. And as a kid, I didn't like that at all, and like I would dread when she'd come. I mean, I still enjoyed her company for sure, but now that she's not there, and now that I'm an adult, I look back and I realize that she has molded who I am, and more than my mother, more than my anyone else who raised me in my family or in my childhood, my grandmother has instilled so many morals, so many values. She's the reason I can't lie with a straight face, because she has told me, even if someone chops your head off, you always tell the truth. People will respect you for it. And I still live by that, So there's so many things that she has taught me. I think she has made about 70% of who I am today. So I love her and I miss her, and I wish I could tell her that she wasn't so horrible.
Yeah.
For you?
I mean, so many people. Really, I think back to it, and like we are very blessed to have so many amazing.
It's usually in your
My
childhood, no?
Yeah, my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and
Aunt.
uncle. We live in a very a tight compound with all our family around us. So, very, very fortunate to have been raised with very good values. And
Even India.
yeah, my
Great.
great grand aunt, like, so many people. But
Yeah.
yeah, so many people to
So
be
many
grateful
people
for.
for, yeah.
Let's move on to let's take some questions later. So send in a few more questions,
Yeah.
and we will move on to the next thing, which is the future of our channel. This is something we've been thinking about a lot this past year, seeing the response from our work and seeing how the industry is evolving here, seeing how where the world is coming to in terms of
Technology,
technology and a lot of things like that, the
economics.
economics of it. And
Yeah.
as much as we love traveling and promoting destinations and working with hotels and showcasing that, we've now started to realize that the real impact of our work happens when we share these stories of people like Manjula, or stories that you need to hear. Next week, we're going to be sharing an amazing blog
Yeah.
on analog forestry and reforestation in Sri Lanka.
About
And
amazing, I think what you're trying to say is the ability to share the stories of really amazing Sri Lankans that are
yeah,
working really hard.
and maybe not even just Sri Lankans, just amazing stories that will inspire other Sri Lankans to do more.
Yeah.
The beauty about a platform like this is that once you have this sort of reach, you are able to inspire. And as much as we love, like, going to all the hotels and showcasing the places, we've covered 52 hotels in the last 5 years. We've covered pretty much all the hotels that can afford to pay us, and we don't see how we can continue and sustain that and grow this into something bigger. But we do see this massive gap here where these amazing, inspiring stories of Sri Lanka haven't been shared. And by sharing those, we hope that we'll be able to inspire more Sri Lankans to stay on, to support, to even for the Sri Lankans that have left the country, to find ways to support
Yeah.
the country. And that is going to be, I think, Sri Lanka's biggest challenge going forward is that on one hand we have the brain drain, as everyone's calling it, and then on the other hand we have this fact that we find it hard to connect with the rest of the world on these platforms because we have such a few amount of creators or communication methods. And we are really trying to see how we can contribute to that. How can we help with our platforms, perhaps building bigger teams to amplify this. And so as such, we're hoping to change our business model. We're trying to become more community funded.
Yeah.
So
That's actually why I placed that question on the chat as well.
yeah. So one thing we're trying to focus heavily on is promoting people to support us via places like Patreon. Even now on YouTube, if you're outside of Sri Lanka, you're able to be a member of the channel. You're
Yeah.
able to tip a certain video.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is we want to include our community. So that's all of you guys. You guys can be a part of our journey. You guys can get behind and say, hey, we should do this story. And if a whole lot of people are able to help us fund that story, do the research for that story, find all the resources we need for that, then we'll be able to do that. Of course, it has to be in our theme and the theme of our channel.
But I mean, the ability to even share ideas is amazing, because I think our community is like-minded. You know, you guys are here with us today because you believe in the work that we have done so far. You agree with it, and there's the ability for us to kind of share ideas and
and at the end of the day, Chanel and I mean, we're still just a two-man team. We do have a lot of freelance creatives who work with us, but there's only so much we'll be able to do. And for us, the only logical or practical way of expanding this body of work now is to community fund it, to engage more people to get involved in what we're doing.
Because what Shehan said, now we worked with almost over 50 hotels, or over 50 hotels in Sri Lanka, and there's a limited number of hotels in Sri Lanka. So
sorry, just to be clear, we are so grateful and thankful to all these hotels. I think we should shout them out.
Yes.
And stay till the end to see the amazing
we couldn't have come this far without them, because it is purely because the private sector, which are the hotels, reached out a hand, extended a hand to us, and allowed us the chance to be able to present this idea. Hey, let us shoot this location and we'll do something for you guys.
And they were open to us doing things differently,
and especially in the beginning, the people who gave us a chance in the beginning, I mean, we can't thank you all enough.
And then also them funding us to grow to this point. All this equipment, everything we're doing is purely off the sort of money we've been making off these hotels, because YouTube doesn't pay us enough to sort of build a business like this, but the hotels have been helping us. But saying that,
we are reaching the limit of hotels that we can work with, because there's only so many. It's a small island. There's only so many hotels, and
and in terms of, I think it's also like a budget issue, because
the more we try to create more deeper, more impactful documentary style content, obviously the production value increases, and that means the cost of production increases. Our gear has increased so much. We're trying to build a bigger team to kind of make more content, and so we understand that we are reaching this kind of upper limit with our ability to work with hotels. Of course, there'll still be things that we do, but we have to think of this as a business, and that is where we are. In the beginning when we started, I would tell Shehan, do we need to work with hotels? I would just really love to go to places and share stories in a really authentic way, and that's what I would have done. But it was Shehan, he's always the business, it's all big brain in here, the business side of things. So he was like, it's all fun and games to make beautiful videos, but how do we make this sustainable for the two of us? We have to be married, we have to live, and get a vehicle. So it was his idea, and it was brilliant, to be honest. But I think we're reaching that point now where it's time to really look at the next level.
How we grow this bigger
than what it is. And I think we are really excited to create more of these stories, and kind of remove that hotel aspect out of it. I mean, it'll still be there.
There will be hotels, but it's just that we're trying to make it so that the funding comes from elsewhere.
So that we have less commitments to a hotel.
Exactly.
When we do a video.
We have more independence in sort of
saying,
One thing we've tried to do with all our videos, even when a hotel or a brand comes in, we tell them at the start itself, hey, look, we're doing this video and we're showing you all in it, but we're doing this video so that it benefits everyone. So whether it is the wellness industry, recently it's benefits the whole wellness industry, even though we're focusing on like 3 people for funding it. If it's a destination like Trincomalee, we're showcasing the to do in Trincomalee and then we showcase on the for fun. But ideally, where we want to get to is to be able to just go to Trincomalee and everything you could do in Trincomalee, so that video is beneficial to so many people. So that's our challenge. That's where we're headed in terms of changing the business model of our channel and getting there.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a lot of different things. You might be seeing different kinds of sponsors coming on board the channel.
Yeah.
You might be seeing us trying different ways of monetizing our business going forward.
Yes.
And
I hope you guys support us through all of it.
You know,
it's an evolution. I mean, we have grown so much as people, and I think our business has evolved so much from what more than what we imagined that it could be. So it's a process, and we're just really happy to have this community with us that's going to grow and evolve with us. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely something that we're going to be focusing more on in the months to come and the years to come. Shall we take a question? Oh, sorry, you have something to say?
No, you take something.
Oh, someone has said sound is not clear. Sorry guys, give us a second. So, someone has asked, what is the movie that influenced your life the most? God, I can't think of it. But in terms of things I used to consume as like a young teenager, I loved watching the Travel and Living channel, and I definitely like it. It made me want to travel those countries, and I think that it played a huge role in, or it influenced maybe how I speak or how my curiosity for exploration as well. I enjoyed that. Good luck with your future ventures. Thank you. Also, please make more videos/interviews with industry peers in various fields so that the young will know the opportunities within the country, which will help minimize the brain drain. Absolutely. You are on point.
That's really what
we're trying to focus on. And I don't know if you have seen it, but we have a second channel called This is Sri Lanka, and it has a slightly different angle. We are going to be interviewing a lot of inspiring stories, peers, stakeholders in the industry who are doing amazing work, who have done amazing work, so that, like you said exactly, that we can inspire the youth of this country to really see.
Not just the youth, really.
No, I mean, he's talking about brain drain. Okay. So the youth of this country, and anyone else, of course, any age group, to really see like what is available in this country, because I think there
is so much
and
there is so much potential. Yeah. Honestly, like it's not like we keep talking about this, but really when you go around the country and see what we have, you realize how much potential we have. And it's difficult, but if we make it happen,
it can happen.
A far greater life than most people in other parts of the world.
Absolutely. I would say Sri Lanka is a good place to be in for if things really get bad in the world. Yeah. Sri Lanka would be a good place to be in. But like I think what I want to say is that even us, when we came out of school, all we knew about this country was the politics you see on TV, what your parents talk about at home, which of course, like,
everyone's corrupt.
Everyone's corrupt. You know, my mom has definitely told me you should. As a mother, I can imagine as a mother, you fear for your child's future, and you're just like, please go somewhere else, and you'll have a better life. So we all just kind of come into that, and what we know about our country is, yes, Sigiriya, yes, we have nice beaches, we go on holidays for the weekend to a hotel with our family, we've seen some important heritage sites, and we think we know Sri Lanka. But I think it's when you travel like really deeply and for long periods of time and meet people in rural areas and talk to them and see who these people really are, that you discover what Sri Lanka really is. And it's an amazing place, to be honest. We have great people. And I think the more we travel, the more we are inspired to show that Sri Lanka to the world and, of course, to our own people, in hopes of inspiring them to feel differently about Sri Lanka and to take more action,
Take more
ownership and pride, and like, this is our country, so we can do something for ourselves if nobody else is doing anything. I'm a strong believer in that, and I'm a strong believer in that, if 100 people think that it's possible and I'm going to do my best to make it happen, that's really powerful. But like, if 100 people also think that it's not possible, that's just as powerful. So don't underestimate the power you have as an individual, for sure.
All right, so we've got three more. I think we've got another maybe half an hour, but maybe we could end it sooner. The giveaway is going to be amazing. Trust me, you want to stay till the end to find out about that. It's something that's never been done before, and you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah.
For the few of you that do get a chance to get it. So next up is our honest thoughts on the current situation in Sri Lanka. Both in terms of living here as well as in terms of Sri Lanka's tourism as a product, because we have been in the tourism sector. We are very vocal about certain things in that area, and we see a lot of things happening. We see a lot of development. So as much as we talk about these things everywhere, I think it's important we talk about it on our own channel. We usually don't do that in like our other videos because it is mainly focusing on tourists and bringing in tourists. So we don't want to, put out any sort of negativity or just anything that's unrelated from a traveler's point of view.
But going forward, the channel will not only be for travelers coming in, it will still apply for those people, but it's also more to inspire Sri Lankans to feel proud of their country. And I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. So in terms of the current situation, what do you think of it? Like, I think today is apparently a year since, the Aragalaya.
Yeah. I mean, a year ago, right now, we were deep into the Aragalaya. You couldn't go to Golface Green, and it was
crazy, right? I mean, we all know how bad it was.
Yeah, it was. But today, I mean, sometimes I catch myself. We've been there to film a little bit now, and it's like, I was like, Shan, can you believe last year this time there were like 100,000 people here? Like, it was a sea of people. Things were chaotic.
And like
there was so much, so much like uncertainty, and so much of like fear and just doubt. And a year later, it's not there anymore. People are back to their usual grind. They've got their fuel, food is available, like there's no shortage of medicine anymore, and people are just rushing to get back into the way things were, and catch up on everything they lost out. And that's really a Sri Lankan thing. Like, we just cannot be held back by these kind of things. I mean,
I think we've been tested so many
over the
times.
4 years specifically.
Not even the 4 years. Like, throughout the war and all these things, we've had.
Sri Lankans are quick to bounce back because they realize they don't have time to waste.
Yeah, and they're so used to having multiple setbacks. So
that's amazing.
It's amazing to see how fast the country has rebounded.
Yeah, and I don't think people, like, when you tell people abroad, I don't think they believe it. I think like they think that there are still people like struggling, and things are not like 100% better, I would say. But we have made leaps and bounds since last year. I think one of the things that really, really surprised me was how we sorted out the fuel issue. Within like weeks, we had a system, a QR code in place to make sure everybody had access to at least a small amount of fuel, at least 20 liters, depending on what kind of vehicle you were running. And that facilitated so much, and it gave me so much. I think I really remember someone was telling us they have like a tour business, and how this one guy who drives a van, he got a tour and he was taking them around, and I was like, so how did you refill your fuel? And they said another driver who didn't have a tour and had a quota, he would come, like he would get petrol for his QR code in a container, come, put it into the other guy's vehicle while the people at the hotel, so they have no idea. That trip was completely unblemished.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of support and community that we have here. So those are the kind of things that make me feel so amazing to be Sri Lankan.
Yeah. and current situation, you have to look back and realize, we've come really far. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, there's a lot of issues still to be solved.
But as a
But
tourist, if you want to come, you're not
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
really feel anything. Like, it's a your travel will be completely undisturbed.
yeah.
There's enough of transportation. You can rent your own bike. You can get fuel. There's no queues. Yeah, there's enough of food. There's medication.
All of that is not even a concern
It's
anymore.
not even a concern anymore.
But
So
yeah,
that's the
so
truth.
that's the truth. And in terms of tourism, this is something interesting because, as you might have seen, our whole mission has always been to help promote tourism, to revive tourism. And now we're seeing, tourists are coming, and now we're starting to see certain problems that, we might face if we have too much tourism,
Yeah. So now, yeah,
unchecked,
yeah,
unregulated.
yeah.
And these are things that you're going to probably be seeing us talk about a bit more on the channel
Yeah.
because
We want to
as
kind of,
much as we can
yeah,
promote,
yeah,
we also want to ensure, our country is sustainable
absolutely.
and this doesn't destroy us
Yeah,
because things can change very
yeah,
fast. And if we don't safeguard our assets and
yeah.
our natural resources, which is what everyone is coming here
Coming
for,
for, yeah,
we could have far worse problems.
yeah,
Right? So I think going forward, you will see us doing a bit more work around that. This is not to say that we're not going to be doing like our usual style promotional videos of destinations.
No, of course we are, but I think we will definitely talk about how um, certain things can be improved, certain policies can be put in place to ensure that large numbers of tourism coming into the country is not going to negatively affect our nature, our wildlife, and of course our people as well. And I think that even on our news first talk, I think the one thing that I really wanted to communicate to everyone at that table and whoever was listening is that Sri Lanka is we have a limited space. We're an island. And everything that we have that people come to see us for is God given. It is nature that has blessed us, and of course, it is our history. And all we need to do is to protect it so that we can have a consistent flow of people who want to come and learn and see things in our country. But if we don't, price accordingly and have certain policies in place to make sure that these things don't get ruined, essentially it's the story of killing the golden goose, right? You don't want to kill the golden goose. If we completely destroy our nature and our wildlife and like our people's socioeconomic health, livelihood, I think we'll have a very short run. We'll have maybe a 10, 20, maybe even 30 if we're lucky year run before people will be like, we don't want to visit Sri Lanka anymore. Because everything that made us so special will be gone. Our coastlines will be covered in like, what do you call those?
Trash mountains.
No, not trash mountains. Our coastlines will be covered in like high-rise buildings. We won't have the quaint little beach shops. We won't have the pristine beaches. We are gonna have things like the issues that we see in Iriketiya, for example, where people who are not even from the local community have come and set up beach beds, and the beautiful beach that was there now is not accessible anymore. Um, and like what really frightens me is there are parts of the country in the east coast and in the north that haven't been touched, and we have this wonderful
Yeah,
opportunity.
we should talk about like our plans for
Yes,
the north and east coast also.
yes, of course.
So hopefully we'll be able to do it this year, but if not, definitely next year. Uh, as soon as we get a vehicle, really,
Yeah.
where we can involve. We're trying to do this massive project, really, to sort of scout the north and the east,
Hmm.
identify, the opportunities of development, both from like a tourism standpoint as well as from an investment standpoint,
Hmm.
and create a massive series around the north and the east of Sri Lanka because it's untapped. There is a lot we must learn from the south and west and how that was developed and how that was sustainably developed.
Hmm.
And so we should probably look at how we can learn from that and start at least from our point of view, start talking.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be able to influence policy
Yeah.
or decision making around certain things when it comes to development of these areas.
Yeah. But I think it's our responsibility to talk about these things as people who are in travel. We not only want to promote travel and get more people to come to Sri Lanka, we want to, because we are on the ground at these places. We're talking to these people, so we really have a very good perspective that we can share with people who make policies and just help them really understand what are the things that are important when we're growing. And we want to kind of raise awareness on the problems and provide solutions that are available and encourage responsible growth of tourism.
Yeah, and development as a whole. Just have a look through that. And so this could be far out, maybe we don't achieve it, but something we think about a lot is if Sri Lanka is to rebound and thrive, prosper, one thing we really need to think about and address is the reconciliation of the conflict.
Yes.
And
one quick thing before I forget, someone has asked what is the best way to contact you guys? Definitely through email, hello@sheneller.com. Shehan,
anything work related.
Yeah, anything work related, because Shehan is very quick to respond on there. Sorry, please continue.
It's a tricky subject. It's a sensitive subject. It's we have no idea what it's going to be like, but we do understand that if we are to move forward as a nation, there are so many Sri Lankans already that live abroad that aren't with the mission of Sri Lanka, and that is, however we want to look at it. Our past is our past, and there was wrong being done on both sides, and I think as the future generation, we should at least try to reconcile now and look at ways that we can bring all our communities together to take it forward. If you look at India and where India is today, everyone's talking about them being the superpower of the world. It is because they had an economic crisis, right? But everyone fled their country in the 80s or 70s, I think. But they still love their country. That is why they, even 30, 40 years down the line, they are supporting it. They are so passionate about supporting it. Whether it's from Google to Microsoft, anywhere, people wanting to support their country, their motherland. We unfortunately do not have that, right? We have so many people who leave this country, and because of this issue we've had, many people disassociate with completely from this country, right? And like, it's a sensitive topic, I get it, but we really want to see if we can help in that process. We might get into trouble for it. Reconciliation.
No, absolutely. It's something that I feel very strongly about, and I think you saw how we were just so excited to go to Jaffna and make that video.
Yeah, and also one thing to add is it's amazing to see the amount of people reaching out to us from the Tamil diaspora community.
And the support that we receive from those people, it really means a lot, because we understand how the media and how things, because of everything that has happened, can be really difficult to do that. But having those few people who have reached out and said, you guys have done a great job, thanks for showing Jaffna,
they are also now curious. They are also interested in it. Sri Lanka is really what their parents have been telling them is from the time of the war, or with the Sri Lanka is now this different country that that they can see themselves coming back and contributing to.
Yeah.
And we really need to
and even calling Jaffna home again.
Yeah, not just Jaffna, so many parts of the
north. Yeah.
So that will be a part of our mission, hopefully.
And I think reconciliation. Yeah, but I mean, we are human beings, and we naturally, the most human thing that you want to do is connect with other people. And for me, the most beautiful thing that has happened from this this journey that we have gone on, I think visiting the north was such an impactful time for me, because Shehan and I, we went there alone. We had never been there before. We don't have any people who got early access into going to Jaffna. We just went there as two people who had just grown up during the war, and just the level of acceptance and that I mean, we had that inability to communicate with each person is there, but even having people like Ram and Siva reach out to us and say, hey, come to like our house so we can show you a real Jaffna meal, and having those friendships there,
breaking all those stereotypes and sort of perceptions we had.
Yeah.
And what we want to try and do is break that perception everyone probably has about this issue that this country has.
And if you can look at us go there and make friends, and if we can encourage you to go there, experience their beautiful
and
culture.
You can see how the Tamil people who are there are friendly with us, and aren't holding a grudge against us for whatever has happened.
That's
then
hope.
Perhaps even if you are living abroad and you're from the diaspora, you can understand that things are changing and that people are seeing these things differently.
Yeah.
It is definitely something we hope to be able to sort of.
And it's another thing that we feel that responsibility to do. It's like a social human responsibility to do, to connect the north and the south, in whatever little way that we can. And again, it comes down to like, who do we think we are? We are just two people with a YouTube channel. But it's the same as putting out that series with 1,000 subscribers, knowing that it might work and it might not. You never know. And we just want to do what we can in our capacity. And yeah, I think that's something that's really great. Okay, we have a few questions. I think we should attend to a few of these.
10, 15, no, 13 minutes left. So.
Was that our last thing now?
Yeah.
So the only thing left to talk about is the giveaway, right?
Update on our personal life.
Yeah, I think we should have a few questions because like it's important. There's a lot here. All right, so okay.
Lots of lovely wishes, guys. Thank you so much. Really, it's so nice to submit.
There was an interesting question here. How much of what you accomplished is because of your hard work and your intelligence, and how much of it is because of luck and the privilege that you have had? It's a very deep question by Learn with Shan. That's a very great question.
I think it's
I
think hard work and so it works both ways, right? I think intelligence has a big part to play in it.
Hard work has a huge part to play in it. Like none of the privileges that we have, and we accept.
We wouldn't have even understood these were privileges if we hadn't done the hard work and also had the intelligence to identify it. Many of us have ways of connecting with people to get things done, right? But today we are able to get on a call, and you're going to see in a few minutes what I mean about like people might think, oh, it's privilege, but it is because of the hard work that we have put in that people now give us this privilege.
But there is something that we have to address. It's the fact that I feel like there is a lot of hard work that has gone in, a lot of risk taking that has gone in, and a lot of sacrifice on our parts. There's a lot of things that a 29-year-old and a 32-year-old in Colombo should be doing now.
We
should have apparently, like, according to like what is the status quo, you should be married, you should be having a house or some kind of thing like that, stable income, you should have a vehicle, maybe a lot of financial stability, a good job, and
maybe in our social class.
Maybe like we live in Colombo after all, right? Yeah. But what I'm saying is that like there's a lot of sacrifice that we have taken in taking a completely different path that not a lot of people will take. So that's a huge risk that we have taken and we have been rewarded for. But that said, we do understand and we do accept that we are in some ways. There are really privileged people, and I'm not saying that we are underprivileged, but there is a level of privilege that we need to accept.
Think, one thing we haven't addressed enough is the fact that the only reason we were able to do this the last 3 or 4 years, we put every single cent we've made into this.
Yeah.
Like there have been many months, like during COVID, during Easter attacks, where we've had no money, and like if we were living by ourselves, we'd have to stop.
Because we'd have to pay rent.
But we were definitely privilege that our parents,
Yeah,
gave us a
especially
roof.
especially Shehan's mom and dad have really supported us by just providing us a place to stay,
food.
comfort, and like just that small
I-
encouragement of like not saying, hey, get out and make your own way in life.
Yeah,
Even though they didn't understand what we were doing, and even though they were on pins seeing us like just chuck our careers aside and
try
stay in our room and like edit these videos that they didn't even think were so great in the beginning,
like even to the fact that all this time, even up to date, we don't have our own vehicle. We're still using my grandfather's vehicle.
God bless
God
him.
bless him.
Yeah.
But like
Thanks, Sia.
it is that it's there is privilege in the network and the
And in
sort
the
of
support,
the support
familial
systems we
support.
have.
Yeah.
But like
There are people who don't have that. I know that there are people who don't. They live out of town. They are in Colombo for work. They don't have a family to that. It would be incredibly hard. So I think that level of privilege that we have had, we have to accept. And I'm very grateful, and I'm humbled by that. But that definitely doesn't take away the amount of sacrifice and hard work. I mean,
let's put it like this: there
yeah.
are far more privileged people than us that we are surrounded by, and
And so we get to see
we
that
get to see.
difference in privilege a lot.
And in terms of hard work, like
Yeah.
if you don't put the hard work, no matter how privileged you are,
It's not gonna work.
there's nothing. And
No matter what family you come from, no matter how much money your parents have, and everything can be set up for you, but if you're not willing to do the hard work, nothing is gonna happen.
yeah, and you can't expect like
Yeah.
we've been thinking, oh, once we get the money, we can pay others to do the hard work for us, and even that we're learning. It's like no, you got to put in all the hard work. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's the most important.
So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I hope.
Very good question.
Yeah.
We should cut short of that.
Yes.
I think we should end it. We're almost at an hour.
Why does it cancel after an hour?
No, but like, oh, you want to keep it?
I just want to answer a few questions, like maybe like 1 or 15 minutes or something, right?
Sure.
There's.
Stay for you guys.
Yes, I know.
They'll be probably biggest giveaway ever done. Sri Lanka. Hands down. And not even kidding.
If you had infinite money, again a question from Learn with Shan. If you had infinite money, already traveled the world, had no fear, and didn't revive any recognition for what you do, would you still create?
Yeah.
We would.
Definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, we just continue to just create. I mean, what we keep saying is if we had all the money, we just build a team to sort of make it easier for us to create. And we really enjoy the process of creating, of going out, of meeting people, of learning, of absorbing, and there is no way you can get fed up of that.
No.
You're just constantly
It's
being
the most
inspired by
fulfilling thing that a human being can do is to, like I said before, connect
Yeah.
with other human beings, and we don't value that anymore because everything is valued on a monetary basis. But that is the most important thing. There's one more. It's a message from Amanda De Silva, who has said, "Hello, have been following you with my mother since the start of the pandemic. Wanted to come to Sri Lanka with my ma. Sadly, it is she's not. She has passed away just over a month ago. But great new direction, Amanda. Thank you so much for following. I'm so glad that you were able to share our journey with your mother, and I'm very sorry to hear that she's not with us anymore. But I'm sending you lots of love, and I hope you do still choose to visit Sri Lanka one day, and let us know when you come. Okay, so I think we can go on to the next part.
The next part is the end. Yeah.
You said something else, no?
Personal life goals and objectives.
Yeah, I guess we can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. So I think one thing we should establish is that there are so many different types of creators and influencers out there, and we have, especially this year, now that we've been getting a lot of attention and like a lot of sort of media coverage, we started realizing that we are not people that enjoy sort of putting our personal lives out there as much. I mean, we used to do that thinking, oh, that'll get us more views and that whole thing. But we are also starting to understand that
we are two introverts, basically.
We are introverts, and we also sort of realize that we will appreciate having our privacy. And so, whilst we are developing all of this and doing all this work and want all this work to.
We do have our own personal goals that are like not related to work.
Yeah.
And
Almost polar opposite of what we're doing in the sense that with our work, we're trying to reach everyone. We're trying to push all these messages out.
But that also,
all around the world.
But that also means we need a safe space to retreat to.
Yeah.
And I think we love nature, and we've just been out of Colombo and traveling the country so much, and we've really realized that the place where we feel the most fulfilled and the most like ourselves is like in these other beautiful regions in Sri Lanka. And in nature.
And in being disconnected also.
In being disconnected, we value that a lot, especially because we are like hyper connected. The value of being disconnected is really enormous to us.
Yeah. So from a personal, like a
personal goal, we'd like to share with you guys because, like, of course,
maybe it might be a part of the channel.
Maybe.
But one thing we are looking to do is sort of
we are saving up and working towards this.
Is to like
We want to kind of acquire a piece of land somewhere. We haven't decided the location yet, and we probably will keep that a secret. But we want to acquire a piece of land somewhere out.
A big
relatively big piece of land somewhere outside of Colombo, and build like ourselves. Build ourselves a sustainable
off-grid sort of
home. But it will be our base, and those are like the goals other than for work that we are working on the side. And I don't know, maybe we will share the build, like, when the time comes and we have to build this home together, maybe we will share it with you guys.
Definitely, I feel like we have to find a way to bring in community, make these things happen, because our entire business revolves around it.
Yeah.
But with the intention of still keeping it very personal and private.
Yeah, but that's like for the future, and it feels really strange to share these things because they're not work related, but also I feel like it's nice to build a more intimate connection with the people that are out there and watching and supporting.
Yeah, and again, coming back to like Patreon and what we're doing there, so whereas all the other platforms are very public and people can look at that and share it and take a lot of things from that. On Patreon, we're trying to be a bit more personal. We're trying to share a bit more behind the scenes as to why we're doing what we're doing. So if you're interested in that, in the journey, in supporting us, in understanding the direction that we are moving everything, definitely check out our Patreon and support us there. You can subscribe with $1 per month to all the way up to $100. Whatever it is, it helps, and I think it will really help us sort of take this forward.
Take what forward?
Our journey, like even to doing like being able to go off grid, work on.
But that's not like.
No, that's not on.
Yeah, that's don't I don't think like I think the main thing is that the community follows the work that we do. Yeah, that is a personal thing. Like we can't like.
Yeah. I didn't mean it.
No, I know. I just wanted to, just in case someone takes it the wrong way, because I already feel like super weird about sharing a personal thing because of the fact that like, it's a personal thing, but I don't want people to get like the wrong impression.
Yeah. All right.
So now.
Drum roll.
Mm-hmm.
One more question before we get it.
Whoa.
All right, let's get into the giveaway. Everyone's here for the giveaway.
Okay, cool. Let's go for it.
All right. So, you want? Yeah. So
you do it.
Over the past 5 years, we've got to, work with all the hotel chains, except maybe one, and we built such a great relationship with them that we felt that the best thing to do for a massive milestone like this is sort of get everyone together. You guys are audience, and then the hotels that have really supported us. So we've spoken with 6 of country's largest hotel chains, and we are organizing 2 7-day tours around Sri Lanka, which we will be hosting, and we will be taking 8 people with us on these tours. So you guys get the chance to have a entirely paid, all-inclusive trip of 7 days, staying at like the best hotels from the
And I hope you guys can
Ugalas.
take days off for this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
it will
you
be
can
worth
take
it.
days off for it, definitely you get to stay at like the best hotels. Plus, you get to travel with us and also experience the way we travel and sort of document things and
Yeah.
uh,
I'm still kind of this thing because when we travel, we are like filming and working a lot. But we want to make this like a escape and like a experience for
fun
you. Yeah, a fun experience.
and
And I'm really looking forward to travel for 7 days, with 8 or 16 of you guys because it's really gonna allow us to get to know y'all and like have this kind of friendship that like
yeah,
like a more tangible thing. Like I know you guys are there, but like
yeah,
seeing 8 of you like
and
in real life.
yeah, and give you guys the opportunity to sort of experience what we experience as well.
Yeah.
Because uh, a lot of these hotels we work with are really expensive. Chanel and I would never, at this point, we wouldn't be able to afford to stay at any of these hotels. Honestly, it's because of our work we get to stay there. So we want to offer this to you guys as well, and so we're really excited. The link will be
In the description.
in the description. It's not there yet, but we'll drop it there.
Yeah.
Um, you have, I think, till the 20th of this month to apply. It's a very interesting scorecard system that we've put up. Basically, you need to score 100 points to be eligible for the draw, where we will select the people to your board. And how the points are given are based on like how much you've been involved in our journey. So, starting off with, if you own our first line of merchandise, you get 50 points. If you've been to any of the hotels we've partnered with in the past, you get 25 points. If you for each hotel, so you can have multiple hotels and then rack up the points that way. If you are a member of our Patreon family, you get another 25. If you are subscribed to us on YouTube, you get 15 points. If you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, you get 10 points each. The beauty is that there is definitely a way that you can accumulate 100 points. But failing with, so say if you don't have the 50 points from the merchandise, which is the limited edition, or you haven't been to a hotel that we've promoted, then the other way, and this is only being mentioned here on the live stream, we're not going to share it anywhere else. We will tell people that it's mentioned here so they can come and find the point.
Yeah.
But the other way in which you can get points is by getting creative and sharing your favorite moments of our YouTube videos on socials and tagging us, right? So in that, you have till the 20th of July, and for those, we will be giving extra points to whoever that shares like special moments, and that is up to us to decide.
Yes.
But the idea is that even if you're only following us on our social media platforms, but you still really want to be a part of this trip and want to stand chance to get involved, then you can do this, which is sort of share really intimate, like really beautiful special stories that you've seen across our channel. The idea of this whole thing is, you know, we want to give this to the people that really have been following us and are part of our journey. So we want to try and make it as personal as possible, so that only the biggest and the hardcore supporters get a
At
chance.
least for the first two.
At least for the first few. And this is,
and depending on how it goes, like we might have
more
more
tours, like tours that
We'll
you can
see.
pay and come on, perhaps.
One thing that I feel like I mean this is going to be a good opportunity, but I do wonder like say if somebody is living abroad, like then
So
it becomes
this time I think if you're living abroad, it might be tough
Yeah.
to be a part of this. But the future tours that we organize definitely will
Will
be
be
planned 6 months ahead, so that you could work around that. But this is a giveaway. We need to do this before the end of like October, perhaps. So make sure you check out the link, which will be in our comment section and on our website, and there'll be we'll spread the word out after this. But only you guys in the live stream know about
It's so far.
Know about it so far, and also know about the way of getting additional points. The other thing is that the person who has the highest points automatically gets
a slot.
A slot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
That's about it. Shall we introduce Kitty to the audience?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you guys don't like cats, but I want you all to meet my cat.
Yes, I thought she's out there.
I think she's here. Hello. Kitty?
So Terence Ukpasa has said, I feel there are more wonderful countries. Give us good. Definitely, we are looking at doing that. I think that's what we'll be talking about building the system. So there are hotels that are
Yeah, she has. She has, yes.
so
Don't know.
yeah, definitely.
Everybody, meet Kitty. She's our mascot. Say hello. The only reason I like to come home is to pet her. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to meet her.
Awesome.
Awesome. I think we're done. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for the 100,000 subscribers. Really, like
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
We're so grateful, and we hope that we can continue to make you guys proud.
And we really appreciate your support. You know, algorithms are going to change. Who knows if we are going to be like relevant and trending and like where we are further down the line. But
yeah.
what we do hope is to be able to still continue this work that we're doing. And for that, you know, we would always, you know, appreciate the support that we get. And as always, you know, share our work with whoever.
That's like, I think that's the most powerful thing that you can do is to share, especially with people who don't know about Sri Lanka. I think that definitely is a very, very powerful thing for us and for our message. I love
Awesome.
cats. We have two.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Check
a lot.
out the link below for the giveaway, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye. This is her chair. That's why she's a bit annoyed.